The dust-covered world of Zarian 7 was silent. Long ago, it had been a powerful alien capital. Now, it was only broken towers, quiet ruins, and dry winds. No life remained except for the team of human soldiers sent to search for lost alien tech. Captain Rourke led the group. His boots stepped carefully over fallen metal beams as he looked around. "Keep your eyes open," he said. "We're not alone." The scanners picked up a strange life sign below the ruins. Beside him, Lieutenant Mira Voss checked her wrist. "Display. The signal is faint. It's coming from that underground vault." She pointed toward a hidden elevator shaft half buried in the sand. "Let's move," Rourke said. The soldiers climbed down using ropes. The air below was cold. Lights flickered from their helmets as they moved deeper into the alien bunker. They reached a giant door covered in symbols. One of the soldiers, Sergeant Deeks, scanned the symbols, its old language. Something about final legacy and life guardian, before anyone could answer. The door opened on its own. Inside the room was something none of them expected. A tall alien figure sat on a metal throne. His skin was pale gray. His eyes were closed. Thin blue lines glowed across his face and arms. He wore ancient armor, covered in gold and silver. He was still alive, but barely. As the soldiers approached, the alien's eyes opened slowly. "You are humans?" he asked, his voice weak but deep. Rourke stepped forward. "Yes, we came after a signal. Who are you?" The alien gave a small smile. "I was the last king of the Solari Empire. My name no longer matters. I am dying." "I waited for you. Waited for us?" Myra asked. "Yes," the king said. "Because I wanted to give you something. A legacy." He pointed to the wall. Hidden panel opened, revealing a large cryochamber. Inside it was a young woman, floating in sleep. Her skin was silver. Her long dark hair moved gently in the blue fluid. She looked peaceful, almost like she was dreaming. The soldiers stared in silence. "She is called Sorrentha," the king said. "She is not human, not like me either. She was made with purpose, to protect, to guide. She is my final gift. To your kind," Deeks whispered. "She looks like a vampire." The king chuckled softly. "Some called her that. But she does. Not harm without cause. She takes energy, but gives back much more." Captain Rourke narrowed his eyes. "Why give her to us?" "'Cause you're kind. Still has hope," the king said. "You fight for each other. You build. You care. Other races have fallen, but humans still rise. She will help you in what is coming." "What's coming?" Mira asked, but the king closed his eyes. A moment later, his body turned to soft gray dust. Only his armor remained. Silence filled the room. Rourke looked at the cryochamber. "Let's bring her back to the ship." Back aboard their ship, Unities. Edge. The soldiers placed the chamber inside the medical bay. The lights glowed faintly. Sorrentha's body remained still. Mira watched her closely. "What if she's dangerous?" "She hasn't done anything yet," Rourke replied. "And that king trusted her. We'll wake her up carefully." They activated the thawing sequence. The fluid inside the chamber began to drain. A soft hum filled the room. Slowly, Sorrentha opened her eyes. They were bright violet, glowing gently in the dark. She looked around, confused but calm. "Where am I?" "You're on a human ship," Rourke said. "Do you remember anything?" "I remember the king," she said softly. "He saved me, hid me," he said. "Humans would need me." She sat up slowly. Her movements were graceful. Her skin shimmered like moonlight. "My name is Sorrentha," she said. "I was created to be a guardian." "Guardian of what?" Myra asked. "Of peace, of life, of balance." Deeks crossed his arms. "But you feed on energy, right?" "Yes," Sorrentha said honestly, "but only from willing ones. I do not harm. I give healing in return." The soldiers remained silent. Her voice was soft, not threatening. There was something calm about her. Captain Rourke spoke. "You said the king saved you? From what?" Sorrentha's face turned serious. "From others like me? We were made by old science. But some turned dark. They became dark-bound. They feed without permission. They destroy. Are they still out there? Mira asked. Yes, Sorrentha said. And they are searching for something.
What?
Rourke asked.
Sorrentha stood up. She placed a hand over her heart. Small light formed in the air. A star map appeared, lines, planets, and one blinking red dot, the Heartfire beacon.
She said, "It is hidden. The darkbound find it, they will twist it into a weapon. But if we find it first, we can protect your world." Captain Rourke looked at the map. A quiet moment passed. Then he said, "Set a course. We'll find this beacon." Sorrentha smiled gently. "Then I will help you. Promise." The ship Unity's Edge floated quietly in deep space, away from busy star routes. Inside the medical bay, Sorrentha sat on a chair, her silver hands resting gently on her lap. Her eyes watched everything with care and calm. The human soldiers stood around her, still unsure of what she really was. Captain Rourke was the first to speak. "You say you're a guardian? But why were you sleeping in a hidden vault?" Sorrentha looked at him. Her voice was soft but strong. "Because I was the last one made. The others, my brothers and sisters, lost their way. Some became darkbound. The king hid me so I would not become like them." Lieutenant Myra Voss looked curious. "But how are you alive after all these years?" "I don't age like humans," Sorrentha answered. "I was made from energy and science. As long as I have a small amount of life energy, I survive. That's why the chamber kept me asleep, slowed my energy use." Sergeant Deke stepped closer. "You mean you take energy from people?" Sorrentha nodded slowly. "Yes, but not like a thief. I only bond with someone who gives energy freely. In return, I can give them strength, healing, even protection." The room fell quiet. Rourke studied her face. She looked peaceful, not dangerous. But he had seen peaceful faces turn deadly before. He finally said, "We need to understand more. For now, you'll stay under watch." "Agreed," Sorrentha bowed her head. "Agreed. I am not your enemy." That night, Mira visited Sorrentha again. She brought warm food, though Sorrentha only took a small bite before setting it down. "I don't need much," Sorrentha said politely. "Energy keeps me full, but I like the taste." Mira smiled. "Do you feel human?" "No," Sorrentha replied, looking at her hands. "But I understand humans. I was taught their ways. The king gave me memories of your people." "He believed in you." Mira nodded. "He believed in us enough to leave you behind." There was silence for a moment. Then Mira asked, "What happens if we don't reach the Heartfire beacon in time?" Sorrentha's face became serious. "The Darkbound will use it to cloak themselves and drain energy from entire worlds. If they take Earth, millions could suffer. We must move quickly." The next day, Rourke called a ship meeting in the war room. A 3D star map floated above the table. The red dot blinked slowly, marking the beacon world. Sorrentha stood beside the humans as she pointed at the glowing lines. "This star path leads to a station orbiting a dying sun. It holds the first key. We must find it to reach the beacon world." "Any threats on the way?" Rourke asked. "Yes," Sorrentha said. "Darkbound are likely watching these routes. They sense energy like I do. They may already know we exist," Sergeant Deeks grunted. "Great vampire space pirates." "Not pirates," Sorrentha said calmly. "They are clever. They hide. They wait. Then they strike when the stars are quiet." "Well, we won't wait," Rourke said. "We move now. Set course to the dying sun." Unity's Edge entered faster than light travel. The stars became long white lines outside the ship windows. Inside, the crew stayed alert. Sorrentha spent time alone in the observation deck. She watched the stars as if they were old friends. Mira joined her. "You don't sleep, do you?" Mira asked. "No," Sorrentha replied. "I only rest my mind. But I do dream sometimes." "About what?" Sorrentha looked out at the stars. "About the past. About the other guardians. Some were kind, some were not. I remember their faces, their choices." Mira sat beside her. "Do you ever feel lonely?" Sorrentha smiled softly. "I did, but now I am with you. That makes the silence easier." 12 hours later, The ship arrived near the dying sun. The light outside was dim and red. The star was breaking apart, sending glowing dust across space. Orbiting the sun was a broken space station. Half of it had been torn apart. The rest floated. Quietly, scan for life signs, Rourke ordered. Mira checked her screen. Nothing active, but there's a strange energy field around it. Scifi stepped forward. It's a trapdoor signal. Old technology used to hide things inside, like the key to the beacon, Rourke asked. Yes, Scifi said, but we must hurry. This station will fall into the sun within 18 hours. A team of 5, including Rourke, Mira, Deeks, and Scifi, took a shuttle to the station. They entered through a cracked docking bay. The air was cold and thin. Broken wires hung like vines. Everything was dark. Lights from their suits shined through the long halls. This place gives me chills, Deeks muttered. Scifi walked calmly, her feet barely making a sound. At the center of the station, they found a sealed chamber. Scifi placed her hand on it. A blue light scanned her. Guardian confirmed, a voice said. The door opened. Inside was a glowing cube floating in the air. Symbols danced across it. The room lit up with soft light. The first key, Scifi said. We're one step closer. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Mira shouted, Something's coming through the outer wall. Outside the room, black shapes began to crawl from the vents. Their eyes glowed red. Bodies were thin and sharp. The dark-bound. Scifi warned. They followed us. The red alarm lights flashed inside the broken station. The walls shook. Loud footsteps echoed as dark shadows crawled from every vent and opening. The dark-bound had arrived. Captain Rourke raised his blaster. Team, get ready. Stay behind cover. Scifi stepped in front of the humans. Her eyes glowed with soft violet light, and a blue shield appeared around her. She opened her arms wide. Let me hold them back. You protect the key. The glowing key cube floated behind her, pulsing with energy. Lieutenant Myra Voss grabbed it and placed it safely in a protective container. From the shadows, the first dark-bound leaped. Its body was black and thin, like sharp bones wrapped in skin. Its face had no mouth, only glowing red eyes. Scifi raised her hand and fired a wave of energy. The creature screamed and fell backward. More came. 10, 15, maybe more. These are scouts, Scifi warned. Not full dark-bound. They are fast and deadly. Rourke and the team fired their weapons. Blue and green beams lit up the room. The dark-bound dodged and crawled along the walls and ceiling like insects. One of the creatures jumped toward Mira, but Scifi moved faster. She tackled it midair and pushed it away. Thank you, Mira gasped. We must escape now, Scifi said. This station is falling into the sun. Rourke shouted. Back to the shuttle. Move. The team ran through the dark hallways. Behind them, the dark-bound chased, making clicking sounds like broken machines. As they reached the docking bay, Sergeant Deeks slipped and fell. One of the creatures leaped onto him. Scifi turned and placed both hands forward. Her energy beam blasted the dark-bound away. Then she knelt beside Deeks and touched his chest. A soft glow spread from her hand. His bleeding stopped. His breathing steadied. You saved me, Deeks whispered, surprised. I told you, she said calmly. I protect. He climbed into the shuttle. The doors closed, just as the dark-bound slammed into the outside. Launch now, Rourke ordered. The shuttle shot away from the station. Behind them, the broken station slowly sank into the dying sun. The dark-bound scattered like smoke. Disappearing into the burning light, everyone was silent for a moment. Then Myra opened the container holding the glowing cube. It pulsed gently in her hands. This is only the first key, she said. Scifi nodded. There are 2 more. Back aboard Unity's Edge, the crew placed the cube inside the map room, as soon as it connected to the ship's systems. The star map changed. A new path opened, pointing to a hidden planet in a star cluster, called the Mistveil. That's deep space, Mira said. No one goes there. The stars make scanners go blind. It's why the second key is hidden there, Sorrentha said. The Darkbound will have trouble finding it, but so will we. Deke sat nearby, watching Sorrentha closely. I didn't believe in her before, he said, but she saved me. I trust her now. Rourke nodded. We moved to the Mist Vale. Full speed. No delays. During the journey, Sorrentha spent more time with the crew. Some were still unsure of her, but most began to see her as a friend. She taught them about energy patterns, old alien codes, and how to read the strange symbols on the keys. She told them stories from the time of the Solari Empire, when Guardians protected entire star systems. Were you ever in battle before? Mira asked one night in the ship garden. Yes, Sorrentha said softly. I once protected a moon with only my shield and voice, but in the end, I had to hide. The others turned dark. I was the last. Why didn't you turn dark? Sorrentha looked at Mira. Because I loved life. I saw its beauty. The king gave me a choice. I chose peace. The next day, the ship reached the Mist Vale cluster. Thick cosmic clouds floated around them, glowing softly like rivers of light. The ship's scanners blinked and failed. We're flying blind, the pilot said. Can't see 2 kilometers ahead. Sorrentha stepped forward. I can feel the path. The key is calling. Let me guide you. They trusted her. Sorrentha closed her eyes. Her hands touched the ship's navigation screen. Slowly, she directed them through the mist, avoiding dangerous energy waves and dead stars. Finally, a planet appeared dark, quiet, and covered in crystal mountains. This is it, Sorrentha said. The second key is hidden in the chamber of echoes, deep underground. Another team landed on the surface. This time they faced no dark, bound only silence. Inside the mountain caves, strange lights glowed from the walls. Voices echoed even when no one spoke. Sorrentha explained, These are memory caves. They show the past. The chamber tests your heart, not your strength. As they entered the final chamber, the walls lit up. A voice spoke. Only those who carry true honor may take the key. Rourke stepped forward. We're here to save lives. But the key didn't move. Then Sorrentha stepped forward. We do not seek power. We seek protection. For humans, for all who still believe in peace. The chamber glowed brighter. The second cube rose from the floor and floated toward her. You have passed, the voice said. They took the key and returned to the ship later. As the ship flew away, Mira looked at the 2 glowing cubes. What happens when we collect the third one? Sorrentha answered. They will open the way to the beacon world, where the heart fire waits. But once we reach it, the Darkbound will try to stop us. They know we are close. Captain Rourke stepped into the room. Then we finish what the king started. We fight not just for Earth, but for every world still worth saving. Sorrentha nodded, her eyes glowing gently. Then we prepare for what comes next, she said. The stars outside the ship Unity's edge looked quiet, but Sorrentha could feel a storm coming. She stood alone in the ship's observation deck. Her violet eyes glowed softly as she looked at the 2 keys floating in their special cases. Beacon was almost in reach, but she felt something else, there near. She whispered. Captain Rourke entered behind her. You mean the Darkbound? Sorrentha nodded. But they are following us. I can feel their energy, cold, twisted, and angry. Rourke crossed his arms. Then we'll be ready. What do they want with the beacon? Sorrentha turned to face him. They want to corrupt it. The Heartfire beacon can create shields strong enough to protect entire planets. But if turned dark, it can drain planets instead. They will use it to feed. We won't let that happen, Rourke said. Not. While we're alive, in the control room, Lieutenant Myra studied the map again. We have 2 keys. The final one is located inside an old space vault near a dead moon. It's hidden behind a gravity wall, probably why no one found it before. Sergeant Deeks added. And let me guess. Full of traps. Sorrentha entered. The final key is guarded by the last test. Creators wanted only the worthy to reach the beacon world. Rourke nodded. We've come this far. We finish it. The ship turned course and headed straight for the dead moon. As they flew, Sorrentha felt a sharp pain in her chest. She closed her eyes and saw vision shadows flying through space, red eyes glowing. One face she recognized. Valor, she whispered. In her memory, he had once been like her guardian. They were created together. They had trained together, but he had turned darkbound long ago. Now he was coming. The ship reached the dead moon. It had no light, no sound, no life. But under its surface was the Vault of Trials. Sorrentha, Rourke, Mira, Deeks, and 2 other crew members entered. The vault wearing light armor and carrying tools. Inside, the air was cold and the walls were smooth and white. Strange symbols glowed along the floor. As they walked, the door behind them closed. A voice echoed through the chamber. This is the trial of truth. Only those without darkness may pass. Suddenly, the room changed. Each person saw a different illusion. Mira saw her old home, her mother's voice calling her. Deke saw a battlefield from his past. Rourke saw a child he had failed to save long ago. Sorrentha stood still, eyes wide. She saw Valor, standing in front of her. You left us, he said in her vision. You chose them. I chose life, she answered. You chose darkness. We were made to lead, Sorrentha. Not to serve. I was made to protect. Illusion faded. Sorrentha stepped forward. These are tests of the heart, she said. We must remember who we are. One by one, the soldiers broke free from the illusions. Then the walls opened. And the final cube rose from a pedestal in the center. You are worthy, the voice said. But before they could celebrate, the ceiling above them exploded. Darkness poured in like smoke. The Darkbound had arrived. The leader stepped through the dust. He was tall and wore black armor. His face was pale like Sorrentha's, but his eyes glowed red. It was Vaelor. Double quotes, hello, sister, he said, his voice deep and smooth. Sorrentha stepped forward. This place is not for you. Valor laughed softly. The beacon belongs to us now. It is time for the age of humans to end. Not today, said Captain Rourke, raising his weapon. Valor raised a hand. Soldiers appeared. Darkbound scouts, 10 of them, crawling from the cracks. Protect the key. Rourke ordered. A battle began. Blasters fired. Light and shadows clashed. Darkbound moved fast, but Sorrentha was faster. She formed an energy shield around Myra and Deeks, then leapt into the air to face Valor. You don't have to do this, she said. I already did, he replied. He fired a wave of red energy toward her. Sorrentha blocked it with her own light. Their powers met in the center, blue and red twisting together. Behind them, Rourke and his team fought bravely. Mira used the energy tools Sorrentha gave them too. Stun, 2 Darkbound. Deeks used a magnetic mine to trap another. Sorrentha and Valor's battle grew stronger. The room shook. Then Valor landed a blow. Sorrentha fell back, injured. He moved toward her, ready to strike again. But Mira jumped between them. You'll have to go through me, she said. Valor looked surprised. Then Rourke stood beside her, and me. Then Deeks and me too. One by one, the humans stood beside Sorrentha. Valor hesitated. Sorrentha stood slowly, light glowing from her hands again. This is what you don't understand, she said to Valor. They stand for each other. That is their strength, Valor growled. Then you will fall with them. He fired another red blast, but Sorrentha absorbed it into her shield and sent it back. It hit him full force. He fell back. Darkbound saw their leader fall and retreated into the shadows. The room grew quiet. Again, Sorrentha fell to one knee. You're hurt, Rourke said. I'll heal, she whispered. You stood with me. That gave me strength. They placed the final cube in the ship and returned to Unity's edge. In the map room, the 3 keys floated in the air. A bright white light appeared and formed a circle. A new path opened in the star map, a glowing line leading to a world. Hidden in the center of a gas cloud, Sorrentha smiled. That is it, the beacon world. Then we go, said Rourke, and we finish this, Mira added. Sorrentha looked out the window into the stars. We are close, she said softly. The light is waiting. The ship Unity's Edge moved slowly through the thick clouds of gas and dust. All around them, space looked like a glowing storm swirls of gold, silver, and blue light floating in silence. This was the path to the beacon world, a place hidden. For thousands of years, Captain Rourke stood in the control room with his team. Engines at low speed, he said. No sudden moves. We don't want to wake anything up. Lieutenant Myra Voss stared at the screen. No signals. No signs of the Darkbound either. Sorrentha entered, her long silver coat moving gently as she walked. Her eyes glowed faintly. They are not here, she said. But the beacon will test us. It was built to protect itself. Only the strong-hearted may enter, Rourke asked. What happens if we fail? Sorrentha looked at him. Then the beacon shuts forever. No second chance. As they moved forward, a round planet slowly came into view. It was silver and white, with smooth mountains and glowing rivers. No cities, no life, but energy flowed across its surface like living light. That's the beacon world, Sorrentha said. It has waited a long time. The ship landed in a quiet valley near a shining hill shaped like a tower. They stepped outside. The air was fresh and cold. The ground sparkled under their boots. A large doorway stood ahead, made of stone and light. As they walked toward it, the door opened without a sound. A voice spoke, calm and ancient. Welcome, chosen ones. Enter the Trial of Unity. Inside was a great hall. The walls glowed with soft blue lights. Floating crystals lit the path ahead. The voice spoke again. To claim the beacon, you must pass 3 tests: trust, sacrifice, and unity. Sorrentha nodded. We must pass all 3, together. The first test began. The floor opened into 5 paths, each one leading in a different direction. The voice said, you must split. Each must walk their path alone. Trust that the others will return. Captain Rourke looked at his team, Mira Deeks, 2 crew members, and Sorrentha. He gave a firm nod. We walk, we trust. Each of them stepped into a different path. The doors closed behind them. Inside his path, Rourke found a long hallway filled with memories. His memories. He saw moments from old battles. He saw friends he had lost. He heard voices of soldiers who blamed him. He kept walking. Pain is part of the past, he said, but I still stand. The hallway faded, and a door opened. He had passed. Mira walked through a mirror room. She saw herself hundreds of versions. Each one whispered fears, doubts, failures. You're not strong enough, they said. She closed her eyes and whispered, I choose to keep going. The mirrors vanished. She passed. Sorrentha's path was quiet and dark. In the silence, you heard Valer's voice. You belong with us, it said. You're not one of them. She stood tall. I chose my path. I chose light. The voice faded. She walked through. Soon, all 5 stood together in the next chamber. You have passed the trial of trust, the voice said. Now face the trial of sacrifice. A platform rose from the floor. On it, a glowing crystal spun slowly. Round it, sharp energy spikes floated. The voice continued. Only one may touch the crystal. It will take energy. It may not return it. One must choose to suffer so the others may pass. The team looked at each other. Rourke stepped forward. I'm the captain. I'll do it. But Sorrentha stopped him. No, let me. You've done enough, Mira said. I was made for this, Sorrentha replied. My body can take it. Without waiting, she stepped onto the platform and placed her hand on the crystal. Blue light shot through her. Her body shook. The energy drained fast. She fell to her knees. Sorrentha, Mira cried. Sorrentha looked up. I'm fine. Keep moving. The crystal faded. The spikes disappeared. The door opened. They helped her stand. Her face was pale, but her eyes still glowed. You have passed the trial of sacrifice, the voice said. Now, the final test. Unity. The next room was vast, like a round stadium. At the center floated a glowing orb, the Heartfire beacon, but between them and the orb stood a new threat. The Darkbound had arrived. Somehow they had followed. Valor stepped forward, his dark armor shining in the beacon's light. I warned. You, he said. You should have stayed hidden. How did you get here? Rourke shouted. We watched, we waited, and now. Finish it, Valor raised his hand. Shadows formed behind him, 10 Darkbound warriors. The voice of the beacon spoke again. Only those who stand together may claim the Heartfire. Sorrentha stepped beside the humans. We stand together. Valor laughed. Then fall together. The final battle began. Light and shadow crashed in the air. The humans fought bravely. Mira used her tools to build energy shields. Deeks used heavy blasts to push the Darkbound back. Sorrentha fought beside Rourke, her hands glowing with power. Together, they defended the others. But Valor was strong. His red energy cut through the shields. He reached the beacon. Sorrentha shouted, no. She flew toward him, but he blocked her. You can't stop me, sister, he hissed. I don't have to, she said. We will, Rourke Miradax. 3 stood behind her, together. They formed a circle of energy. The beacon glowed brighter. Valor screamed. No, this is mine. But the light grew stronger. It pushed him back. The other Darkbound screamed and vanished into the air. Valor's body faded, swallowed by the beacon's light. Silence returned. The Heartfire beacon floated quietly. The voice spoke once more. You have passed. You are united. The beacon is yours. The orb opened. Energy flowed into the air, bright, warm, powerful. Sorrentha smiled. We did it. Rourke placed a hand on her shoulder. No, you did it. You gave us strength. She looked at him with kind eyes. And you gave me a family. The Heartfire beacon floated above the glowing platform, shining like a newborn star. Its light spread across the chamber, soft and warm, wrapping around every person standing in the room. Captain Rourke, Lieutenant Mira, Sergeant Deeks, and Sorrentha stood together, watching in silence. The voice of the beacon spoke one last time. You have passed the final test. The Heartfire is now yours. Use it with wisdom. The ground beneath them changed. Control panel rose from the floor, shaped like a ring with symbols glowing across it. Sorrentha stepped forward and placed her hand on it. Her energy connected. With the beacon instantly, I can feel its purpose, she said. It is not just a weapon. It is a shield, a healer, and a light for those in darkness. Rourke walked beside her. Can it protect Earth? Sorrentha nodded. Yes, it can build a great defense net around your world. No fleet can pass through it. No Darkbound can touch it. Deeks grinned. So we just turn it on, and Earth becomes untouchable? Not that simple, Sorrentha said. The beacon needs time to connect with Earth's orbit. I will guide the energy, but I must stay linked to it, fully. Mira looked at her with concern. What do you mean by linked? Sorrentha smiled gently. It means I become part of the beacon. My energy keeps it alive. I will not vanish, but I will not live freely anymore. No, Rourke said firmly. We didn't come all this way to lose you. You won't lose me, she replied. You will gain safety, peace. I was made for this. Back aboard Unity's Edge, the crew prepared the ship to carry the beacon's signal back to Earth. A new course was set directly toward the Sol system. Sorrentha stood in the beacon chamber. Lines of energy connected to her arms, her back, and her mind. Her silver skin glowed brighter than before. I can guide the beacon from here, she said calmly. But once we reach Earth, I will not be able to move again. Rourke entered the chamber and stood in front of her. You're not a tool, he said. You're a person, a friend. I am both, Sorrentha replied, and I choose this. Path freely. Myra stepped beside him. You saved us. Let us find another way. Sorrentha smiled. This is the way. The alien king made me for a purpose, but I found something better, a reason. I saw the courage in all of you. I saw unity. That is what gave me strength. Rourke lowered his head. I never thought we'd lose you. You didn't, she whispered. I'll always be here, in the light, in the beacon, watching. As the ship neared Earth's orbit, the Heartfire beacon rose above the planet. Like a glowing shield, the skies lit up. People across Earth looked up and saw the shining web of energy forming above the atmosphere. It was beautiful, like a ribbon of stars wrapped around the world. Leaders. Soldiers and scientists watched from control centers. They saw a message appear on every screen. This is Captain Rourke of Unity's Edge. The beacon is real. Safe now because of her. Images of Sorrentha appeared across the globe. The world cheered. On board the ship, Sorrentha sat in silence, her body floating in the beacon chamber. Her voice echoed through the ship softly. I feel the Earth's life. Its oceans. Its people. I feel their hope. Mira stood outside the chamber, wiping a tear from her eye. She gave everything, she whispered. Deeks placed a hand on her shoulder. No, she gave us everything. 2 days later, the beacon was fully linked to Earth. It formed a protective field strong enough to stop any attack. The Darkbound were gone, and no new threats could pass through. Inside the ship, Rourke recorded one last message. To every human listening, remember this day. We were saved not by power, but by unity. We were protected not by machines, but by someone who believed in us. Her name is Sorrentha. She was not human, but she showed us what humanity could be. Back in the chamber, a soft light continued to shine. Sorrentha's body no longer moved, but her energy lived inside the beacon. Her voice could still be heard, quiet but peaceful. I am still here, guiding, watching. You are not alone. Many years passed. The Heartfire beacon remained above Earth, glowing softly like a second moon. Children learned about Sorrentha. In school, statues were built in her honor. Soldiers spoke of her with respect, and on the anniversary of the beacon's activation, lights were released into the sky each year, floating toward the stars like messages of thanks. One evening, Captain Rourke, now much older, stood on a hill looking up at the beacon. Mira, now an ambassador for space peace, joined him. She changed everything, she said. Rourke nodded. She gave us a future. Do you think she can still hear us? I do, Rourke said with a smile, and I think she's proud. They stood in silence, watching the light in the sky, and somewhere far above, in the heart of the beacon, a soft light pulsed gently, like a heartbeat, like a promise.